It dawned on me the other day that I've never done a dedicated what's in my camera bag or photography essentials type of video here on my channel, and people tend to enjoy them. But instead of claiming that I carry around some sunglasses or random toolbox items in my camera bag every day, instead I thought I'd go through my absolute weekly essentials for photography, creativity, work and general life. And of course these are not the only items or apps that I use, but they are the ones that get absolutely battered and bruised every single week and have a major impact on my workflow. So let's get the obvious stuff out the way first, the cameras. Now, of course, I have a few film cameras, I have some action cameras, but the only actual two cameras that get used every single week, all year long, are the A7 IV and the A7C II from Sony. I'm currently filming on the A7 IV, so don't have it here in front of me. And if I'm completely honest, the only reason I own two bodies like this is because I make videos here on YouTube. If I wasn't making YouTube videos, then I would probably more than likely just have the A7 IV for the couple of extras that you get. But the main reason I opted for the A7C II and the A7 IV was because they're essentially almost the exact same camera, bar a few minor differences. The major difference obviously being the actual body design, but when it comes to the specs inside the camera, I can shoot with them both for photo and video and can't tell a difference across the files, and they operate the same way. Not exactly the most inspiring cameras or fun cameras to use, however they never fail me, they get the job done, they've got everything I need on them and in them software wise, and they just stay out of my way. And to be honest, I don't necessarily feel like when I'm out taking photos or making videos that the camera is part of the process. I don't really notice it on my body or in my hand. It's just kind of there. The A7 IV in particular is probably one of my favorite cameras I've ever used, down to the ergonomics of it. The bigger body, the bigger grip, and the way it feels in my hand is just fantastic. And I know everyone's different, but I do feel like that the way a camera feels in your hand and the ergonomics of it is such a huge part of enjoying photography, and that's why I'd probably opt for the A7 IV if I wasn't making YouTube videos, because I much prefer holding the A7 IV than I do the A7C II. So yeah, I mean, cameras, all cameras are amazing these days, so we don't need to talk about these too much. On to the lenses. So recently I made a video a few weeks back and I slightly mentioned that I got rid of most of my lenses recently. I've only kept two lenses, well, three actually, because again, I need one to record videos with. But the two lenses I now have for photography are the Viltrox 40mm prime and the Sony 24-50 2.8 G lens. And you may have seen this about a lot on YouTube. It's the old lens that zooms out but gets wider instead of the opposite. But yeah, let's focus on this one, because this out of the two is the one that is getting used every single week, and I feel like will probably get used every single week going forward from now on. I should mention though, actually, before, in case anybody asks, well, if you've got a 24-50 which covers 40, why'd you have a 40mm prime? Well, I love sticking a prime on my camera and going out and having no other option than that focal length. I love to practice composition, I love to explore places with just a prime. I love going on a quick photo walk with just a prime. It's also tiny, so yeah, that's why I keep the 40 prime, because 40 is my favorite focal length currently. So I feel like, you know, might as well keep that in the bag and stick it on when I feel like a carefree walk, a nice fun walk where I don't have to think about focal lengths or zoom in or out or anything like that. And I won't dive into the specifics of the lens too much, like the aperture and the performance and all of that stuff. It's a G lens at the end of the day. It's a fantastic lens. However, I will say this is probably the best money I've ever spent on a lens for two reasons. One, not because you should buy this lens, not because it's the best lens out there in the world, but because it covers my favorite focal length range, which is between, I want to say 35-50, but then gives me the option of going a little bit wider to 24, which is really nice, because there still are scenes out there where I will want to go wider. The second reason I say this is the best money I've ever spent is because I actually found it as an unboxed model, or open box model, which means it's never been used. It was never attached to a body or anything like that, and you can save a lot of money. I think I knocked £300 or £400 off of this lens because the box had been opened, which is absolutely ludicrous, to be honest. But look out for that online if you ever see it. I will have thrown a bunch of photos up that I've took on this lens in the previous few weeks. I haven't used it for that long yet, so that's why I'm not going to dive too crazy into the specifics of this lens, but I might do a full review in the future, or if anyone's interested hearing more about it, then give me a shout. So next up we have the item that powers everything, powers all of my photo editing, my video editing, my general life, my internet browsing. It is the Apple M1 iMac, and I believe this released in 2021, I want to say. And given we're now onto the M4 chips when it comes to Apple computers, and the fact that this M1 iMac here still performs like it's a fresh computer that's never been used, it never crashes, it never lags, it never has a problem handling any files, I can only imagine how future-proof and how good those new M4 computers are. I have recently toyed around with the idea of picking up a MacBook for the simple reason of course, you can go anywhere with it a lot easier. I could come downstairs and sit on the sofa, I could take it to a coffee shop and do some work, but it's not necessarily a major purchase or something that's holding me back right now, so that would definitely be something for the future. And of course, if I was going to do that and still have the desktop setup, which I love, I always want a desktop setup so I can sit and properly work. I would of course have to pick up a monitor to go along with the MacBook and so on. So it's not high on the list right now, and like I say, there's been no performance drops from the M1 iMac, so I can't really complain there. If it was to ever drastically slow down or cause me any problems, then I would look at swapping it out, but you know, I can't see it slowing down anytime soon. So that powers all of my editing, all of my work, freelance work, everything. It's like my personal assistant. Okay, so my next essential that obviously gets used every single week is my sit stand desk. And I'm not talking about this because it's a desk and I sit at it every week. The sit stand element is absolutely crucial here, because if you are somebody that sits at a desk for long hours, edits for long hours, and probably spends more time than you should as a human at a desk, then having the ability to stand at it is absolutely crucial. I was always a bit funny with sit stand desks before I actually started using them, and now I feel like being able to have that option, whether to stand for a few hours, sit for a few hours, is an absolute game changer when you do spend that much time at the computer. So mine is from a company called Fezebo or Fezebo, I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but their website has a wide range of wonderful standing desks in different sizes, different formats. You can change the tops and stuff like that. I believe mine is the very, very standard one that's just got the black legs with the up down button, and I believe I changed the top just to be a bit bigger and picked a walnut finish. Okay, so we've covered the computer that I work on and the desk that the computer sits on. Now let's talk about some programs that I use every single week, every single day actually. And of course, for editing, we've got Lightroom, Photoshop, and Premiere Pro, but I want to talk about something that I use every single day, and it's called Notion. Now, you've probably heard about this if you spent any amount of time on YouTube watching any kind of like productivity videos or apps that are fantastic. I don't know, you've probably heard of Notion before, but what it is basically, it's a note-taking app that is a lot more intuitive than your bog standard note-taking apps. And in my personal opinion, I've tried them all and they all tend to have pros and cons, but I've used Notion now for 5 or 6 years and never swapped from it because I think it's the most aesthetically pleasing. So my particular Notion is very much dedicated to like photography more than like writing. I need to clean the house in it, but I have a page dedicated to YouTube videos. I have a page dedicated to my photography projects so I can keep track of it. There's one for my website so I can plan different pages and blog posts and stuff. Income and expenses in there for when I do a tax return at the end of the year. So this is definitely more of a business focused Notion, I would say. Anything that's kind of a day-to-day task or something that I need to think about right now within the next day or so, I still use a good old pen and notebook. I think that's, you know, a fantastic way. I get a great value out of ticking a task off of a pen and paper notebook. For anything that needs to go from the notebook and be kind of cemented and I need to look at for a long time, or something that's going to have a lot of writing to go along with it, or maybe a spreadsheet or maybe some pictures, it goes over into Notion. It has a permanent home in there. There's an app on your phone as well, and it's all handled offline if you want to. So when you do something on the internet, it will sync to the offline version. So no matter where you are, if you've got no signal, you can access your notes. Okay, so let's move on to the next app that I use every single week, and I'm gonna have to get my phone for this because it is a phone only app, and I'm sure a lot of you have heard of it, but just in case you haven't, and also to show you how I actually personally use the app, it is Photo Pills, and I use this every single week. So of course I use the classic augmented reality. Is that what it's called? So you click sun, you click AR down here, and basically what that's going to do is give you an example with your camera open of where the sun is going to move throughout the day. So you can stand at a specific location and say, right, at 11 o'clock, the sun's going to be there, and that's going to make my shot perfect. So that's super handy. But something I actually probably use more than that is because you can do this ahead of time rather than when you're on location, is this planner section here. So if we go into planner, okay, so let's go over to Newcastle upon Tyne city centre, and let's say I want to photograph the Tyne Bridge and I want the sun or the light or anything like that to be in a particular place when I do photograph the Tyne Bridge. I can drop a pin on top of the Tyne Bridge. So let's say I wanted to photograph the Tyne Bridge from over here down by the river, and I wanted it to be backlit. I can see from the movement of the sun, for it to be backlit, I'm going to have to wait to about 2 o'clock in the afternoon all the way up until sunset. Okay, so next up, let's talk camera bags. I have 2 camera bags. I have a big camera bag for, you know, big carry stuff, but this is the one that gets used every single week without fail. It's the Bellroy Sling 10 litre Sling Camera Edition. Camera Edition is key here because it has the dividers inside. You can of course get a 10 litre sling that doesn't have the dividers inside. The Camera Edition has camera features in there. Got some dog bags in there, just chuck them away. So as you can see in there, nice dividers in there, and this will actually fit the kit that I spoke about, the 2 bodies, a lens on each body, a microphone, spare batteries, memory cards. This will actually fit all of it. So this is essentially all I ever need for photography, unless I'm going on a walk where I'm taking lots of food and drink, or I need different clothes items to change into or put on or take off. That's the only time I would opt for the bigger camera bag that I've got, or if I'm going on a trip for a fair few days, I'll take the bigger camera bag because it means I can also pack some stuff in there like chargers, toothbrush, stuff like that. Although sometimes I've actually just chucked this in the boot of my car, packed gear in my big camera bag, and then when I've got to wherever I'm visiting for a few days, picked the gear that I needed for that day, and then actually spent my day walking around with the smaller bag because so much easier on my back, so much more comfortable to use. Being able to just swing it around your body and pick your gear out when you need it as well is super handy. And then really quickly, along with the bag that's housing accessories and gear and stuff, whichever camera's actually in my hand that I'm shooting with will have the Peak Design cuff attached to it, and that will be attached to my wrist. Almost like 99.9% of the time, I'll have that attached to my camera unless I've misplaced it or thought I lost it, which has happened a few times recently. So yeah, that's always on my camera, but yeah, I won't speak too much about that because I've mentioned it many times. Okay, so 2 more items that get used every single week and play a major role in my photography process would be my carbon fiber tripod from Freewell. This is called the Real Travel Tripod, I believe. Filming on it right now as well, so I don't have it in front of me, but there'll be plenty of B-roll, don't you worry, I've got you covered. So this is actually the first carbon fiber tripod I've ever owned, and I picked it up specifically because I was sick and tired of carrying a big bulky tripod that, you know, hurt my hand, hurt my wrist or whatever for long days. This tripod is not the most stable tripod in the world. It's carbon fiber, it's ridiculously light, and it's also quite small. It doesn't go up that high. But when I'm going out for a general day out, or when I'm filming YouTube videos and I am going to be carrying a tripod across moorland or through the hills or for a long time throughout the day, this is why I picked up this tripod. I do think if you use a tripod often enough that you always want to carry one with you, but you also want to save on space and weight and stuff like that, then a small travel carbon fiber option like this that will get the job done for you is a fantastic shout. I do have a second tripod, which is also from K&F Concept, that I keep either at home or I take it to various different studio spaces, just because it's a little bit more robust, or for whatever reason, if I was planning on going out and doing some, say, long exposures and there was like a storm going on, I'd probably opt for that over the carbon fiber option, just because it gives you a bit more weight, a bit more anchor to the floor. This Freewell tripod is the one I use every single week to film my videos, take my photos, film B-roll, pretty much everything that I do that requires a tripod. Currently, this is the one that I'm using. And then finally, we have something kind of not photography related at all, but also still plays into my week as a photographer and everything that I do when I'm at home, or sometimes even when I'm out on location. I have here my noise cancelling, that's the word, noise cancelling headphones from Bose. These are the Quiet Comfort, I want to say 4.5? Yeah, 4.5, Bose Quiet Comfort 4.5 QC headphones. And honestly, these have been a godsend, because when I want to like proper crack on and proper get work on, I'm the type of person that gets distracted very easily, or gets a little bit like agitated if there's sounds going on, or if I can't focus or hear what I'm doing. So whenever I'm editing photos, and of course when I'm editing video with audio, this is what I'm using. But also they play a major role in my life as well, for going to the gym, walking the dog, listening to podcasts. Yeah, noise cancelling headphones, I think, for deep focus, deep work, especially editing photos when you want to put some music on and really focus, fantastic investment. So just wanted to chuck them in there, because they do get used every single day of the week without fail, and most of the time it's something photography related I'm doing when these get used. So that sums it all up. Hopefully you found this helpful. If you have any questions whatsoever about any of the items, or you feel like I didn't elaborate enough, then feel free to drop them in the comments and I will do. But like I say, these are just the items I use every single week without fail that get the job done for me, and everyone's going to be different. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I will see you in the next video.